1, 2, 3. Tag me in podcast.
I want to know what motherhood and parenthood is really like.
Okay.
That pause.
That's a tough question to go in for.
Straight in.
Subjective. What does it mean to you?
What does it mean to me? It means so many things. And for starters, you need to even understand that it's not only with your own children that motherhood is limited to. It's a very, very big thing. But personally, I went into motherhood. I'm even going to say, before I had my daughter, I went into motherhood because I used to look after my siblings and everything. My parents used to work 2 jobs and the hustle was real. So I had to grow up quickly and, pick up the responsibility and everything. Even my parents' last born used to think I was her mum. She used to call me mum. I'm not your mum.
Chill.
But, as time went on, I did have my first child, 19 going 20. And that was even a bigger eye-opener because responsibilities came. I was actually in my first year of nursing then when I had my daughter. When I started my nursing, I just thought, I didn't even want to do nursing. I wanted to do midwifery, but my dad was like, go and do nursing. Go and do nursing. If you start with nursing, you can go into anything. I was like, oh, sugar. Okay, I went and did the nursing, and I was just doing it for doing sake. But when I had my daughter, there was a reason for me to do something, to be somebody, so that when she does grow up, she too can look and say, actually, my mum did this, my mum did that, I'm going to do better. I'm going to get better. And between my first child and my second child, there's like 6 years. And a lot of people used to talk a lot of rubbish, like from the African background. Oh, do you want to have another child? This one, she's lonely. She's 6 now. And that thing is a bit painful because you don't know what someone's going through. You don't know what that person's passing through. And you're just throwing your silly comments like, you're going to give me the money to raise the children or whatever. You understand? But during that time, it was like a dark period for me because it just wasn't happening, or it was happening and it wasn't working out. And, but eventually when she was 6, I had another child. I had a boy then. And the responsibilities doubled. Oh my God. You know what? I thought, because my first one is 6, it's going to be easier.
Yeah.
No. I started everything all over. For example, Pampers, sleepless nights, breastfeeding, buying milk, to the point you're looking at your bank account, there's nothing in it. It's like 0.0p or even minus something p. And, I'm that kind of person whereby I work hard for my money and don't really believe in all this benefit stuff. Not that I don't believe in it, but I feel like the system failed me many times, so there was no point. Like when I actually needed the help, my rent was like £114 a week. They told me I was entitled to £12. That £12 I never saw it anyways. And it wasn't £12 a week, I was entitled to £12 every 28 days. So
£12 a month.
What?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
They said that my income was enough for me to be able to pay rent, buy baby food, buy all of that. And I was like,
Don't think it works like that.
How did you calculate it? And then my husband was also out of a job. He was just made redundant. So everything was just piling up together like boom, 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 boom. And I did have lifesavers. I have friends that have turned sisters who, poured through. My mom, she's my number one fan, always pushing through. Even my dad too, but dad's always working in the background. Like if their wife has said something, okay, let me add this money to it. But you will always see the moms being the proactive ones at the front, you understand?
The more vocal one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she was really, really proactive. Oh, she'll call me, do you need milk? Do you need this? Do you need that? Okay, I'm at Asda now. What else do you need? Just send me. And she would do you understand? And it's not like, even growing up, it wasn't like I was a perfect child. I was one of the bad children.
Hey.
I was bad. If there's another word for bad, I was bad. It was bad. I'll give you a tip of the iceberg. BT they sent a phone bill of 1,500.
Wait, who's you calling?
For 1 month. Yeah. Then I was in year 7 and I was feeling cool because I had a boyfriend and I was calling the mobile. And then, you know, BT used to do this thing that after 7, the landline is free to landline.
Yeah.
But me, I just call. And then, like, my parents, they disciplined me. They cut my hair off. So because they cut my hair off, I called premium rate numbers and I just left the phone.
Oh, yo.
And then...
Bad.
There's some
Hello, is someone there?
there's some premium rates numbers that you call and then they ask for like card numbers. So like put my mom's card numbers in it. And then she went to Asda one day and said card declined. And like I think she was going to have a heart attack or something.
There's money in the account. What?
And then to get paid back to my dad as well, I got his work phone. And I called premium rates numbers as well. And he got his salary and he got like, if your salary is like £2,500, he got £500.
He's like, why? What happened?
You know, I can laugh now, yeah, but then it was
Stress.
bad. It was
Stress.
really, really bad. And I just thank God for the parents I have now, because if it was another
That's
parent...
forgiving as well. That's forgiving, loving, all of that jazz.
If it was another parent, yeah, I don't think I would be who I am now. And I always say that thing that 1/10 of what I did to my parents, I don't want my children to do it to me, because I would RIP. I know I would. And that is why I always say that no matter how mean your parents may seem, or no matter how tough they may seem, there's a bigger picture. But you won't understand it until you become a parent yourself.
I always hear this line.
You won't understand.
My mum
No,
turns
you
around
don't,
to me
yeah.
and she's like, you understand when you have your own.
Seriously, when you have your own, because I used to think, why did they say go to your room? My parents didn't even say grounded. Go to your room and don't let me see you for the rest of the night. That was the statement. Or you hear, my friend, will you shut up your mouth? You know,
Classics.
all classics, badass classics we had growing up. So now that trained me for my own children and how to deal with them. My eldest is 10 now, yeah. And sometimes her back chat is like I should snap her neck. And I'm like, are you talking to me? And then when you reflect that, I said worse to my mom. I remember I think my mom offended me and I changed her name to female dog on my phone, and she called my phone and it was next to her for some reason. I don't know why she called it, and it came up and she said, is that me? Don't worry, what happened that day was just epic, to put it that way. And you know, now I just look at her, I say to my daughter, all this you're doing now, you grow out of it, because I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, got the trophy. You need to just grow up. Sometimes I shout. My 4-year-old will tell me, Mommy, why are you shouting? I've got ears, I can hear. You sit back again.
Smart one.
This is all about parenthood. My 2-year-old, currently going 25, he will be like, move, mommy, move. But one thing about all 3 of them is they're so protective over me. Even if like their dad tries to put his hand on my lap, my 2-year-old is coming. He's coming, and he's coming with full force.
That's my wife.
He's biting, he's punching, he's
Wow.
kicking, and the dad is like, "You can't come between us." Seriously, he has, and then you just hear me say, "Minion, stand down." You know what we're looking. I say to them, "Minion, stand down," and then he'll be looking like, "Why did she tell me to stand down?" But he will stand down. And then if he sees that I take a footstep and I'm going, he's going back to rush him again. Yes.
Man.
It's so funny. And my 4-year-old, if he sees that there's commotion happening, he's ready to get in as well. Mom, can I? I don't even have to say yes, he's done. Boom. And then my first one will just be standing there like,
just looking.
where did she get these?
What is this?
2 boys from? Like
On her side. Yeah.
But they're always protective over me, themselves. Even when they fight, I don't get involved, because in a matter of seconds, they're done.
They're done. Yeah.
But you know what? You mentioned something interesting in that when the second one was born, that it didn't necessarily get easier. No. I thought it would have, because you've had that experience with the first one. And obviously the first one's always the hardest because it's your first time.
It's a lie.
Unknown area.
It's a lie. The first one is the easiest. And I say that because everybody's hands-on, because they know it's your first child. So
mom,
everybody helps you through, and you get pissed off as a new mom because you feel like people are taking your shine, or people are not letting you spend time with your baby. But when they all go, you now realize that actually
I actually needed that.
That help was necessary. Like, and thank God, like when I had my daughter, I was still living in my parents' house, so it was easy. When I had my son, my first son, I had my own property. I was in my house. I think I moved out when I was 19 anyways. Yeah, after I had my daughter. So they did come to the house, do this, do that. When they went home, and then I would be like, hello, Mom, can you come please? Like, you need to come and take him or her. Somebody needs to go
something.
before I blow up. And it didn't get easier. It got harder because everybody believes that you're experienced. So you should know what you're doing. And in some aspects, you do know what you're doing. But sometimes you just need that little reminder of, oh, don't forget to do this. Or you need to sleep when they're sleeping. You need to rest up. You're not Superwoman. You can't keep on doing it. And then when the third one came, I was like, yeah, this is death.
Really?
This is death. Because then I had my third one in August. Both my boys are in August. They're a day apart, actually, 21st and 22nd. Yeah, so I had my third one. But in March of that year, I was made redundant at work. So as you can imagine, if you're getting maternity allowance from the government, it's chicken change. It's like about 400 and something pound a month, or maximum £500 a month. So imagine you've got 3 children, £500 a month. Some people say, yeah, but she's got a husband. You guys have to remember, we've got house rent, we've got car insurance, you've got fuel, you've got food, you've got electricity bill, sky bill, you've got your internet bill, you've got your phone bill, you've got your water bill. Do you understand?
A lot of outgoings.
A lot of outgoings. And if you think about it, milk, a baby's milk is always like £10 just for one.
That SMA stuff.
Yeah.
Smack.
Yeah, it's always smack. It's always expensive.
my thank God, my lot didn't have SMA. They didn't like it. They had Aptamel, and David didn't have any milk at all. My last one, he didn't have any. He was just solid breast. If you gave him milk, he would vomit. He wouldn't take it. So that one actually tried to kill me because, like, for 2 days, my breast milk stopped because my body couldn't keep up with the demand. It was so bad. And Sam had Aptamel for some time, and then he came off it. Then there was another like specialized milk for children that have colic. Because he was a really colicky baby. So, and that milk itself was expensive, like £11 something.
And
so
that's what, one a week?
It could last about 2 weeks, depending on, sometimes babies eat a lot and sometimes they just relax as well. And that's why I try to introduce solid food from about 3 months, because it cuts down your milk. They're full for longer, and it works better for everybody. But with my last one, like I said, he was breastfed. He stopped breastfeeding about 5 months. He stopped by himself. And from there, he went on to things like our native food, like amala with jaw stew and things like that, which went well. But then as he turned 1, he started to become a very picky eater. He doesn't, even till now, he doesn't eat what everybody wants to eat. And if you give him his own food, unless it's like cereal, he's not having it. But if you're eating, then he will eat with you. And sometimes as a mom, you get frustrated, like, I just want to eat my food in peace. But then you have to look at it again, like, okay, if he's not eating, he's losing weight. They're looking at you like, what are you doing? Are you not feeding your child? And people are very fast to speculate.
Judgment.
They judge and they say things, they believe they know everything, that every child is the same, but every child is not the same. Yes, we have milestones that we expect them to hit, but not every child will meet that milestone. And my last one was, he was a preem baby by about 2 weeks. He came early. So he needed phototherapy, which is like, because he was jaundiced, his skin was yellow. So he had to have double phototherapy. So he had all these lights on him. His skin was drying up, crackling just from all the UV lights and everything. And that's why for me as a mum, anything that happens to them is like doubled, because I know what I went through to have them. I know what I went through to maintain having them, in the sense of health and things like that. So it goes a long way. Being a mum or motherhood is not just by mouth. It's not that, oh, your kids look cute or your children look cute. They're wearing Versace today, they're wearing Armani tomorrow. Nah, it's nothing to do with that whatsoever. There's so much more to it. There's nights where your child is not sleeping because they're coughing. They've got a blocked nose. They can't do this, they can't do that. Mind you, I work nighttime permanently. I've just dropped down to 4 days. I used to do 5 days a week here. I work nighttime permanently. So when you come home in the morning, you start your free job looking after your children, doing school runs, doing their food, doing everything. Some people say to me, or people that are close to me that know my run-ins, they're like, they don't know how I do it.
Superwoman.
Because some days I'm 48 hours running on 45 minutes sleep.
Whew, power nap.
Yeah.
Just getting on.
Mad. That's
And
the thing.
and I'm going. And then when I do crash, I crash as in I crash flat out.
Yeah.
And it's a thing whereby I know I'm gonna crash, so I would have probably offloaded them to my parents' house, or would have said to my husband, "This weekend it ain't happening.
Recovery.
I'm out. I can feel it already." And if you're very in tune with your body, you know when you're about to crash. You know when you're about to flatline. And it's a very important thing as a mum when you need to know that you need to have a break.
Yeah.
You need to call it quits, because if you don't, somebody else is going to be your children's mum, because you're going to die early. That's just the long and
The
short.
reality of it. Yeah.
That's just the long and short of it. Because it does happen where you have some painful headaches and there's no painkiller you're going to use that's going to resolve it. You just need to sleep.
Do you think that they're attentive to it? So do you think that they can
They
see,
know.
okay, mum's stressed and
No, they know.
do
Especially
they back off? Or
my 10-year-old, you hear her screaming, "Are you guys deaf?" I said, "Get in the room now."
Wow.
And she'll drag them in the room and get the telly on, get them, well, if she can't do things, they know there's food cooked, so she would microwave it, give it to them. But if there's something she can't do, then she would come to me, "I'm sorry to wake you up, but can you help me?" And then I will do it, do you understand? So they do know. Even the other day, Kezia, she hurt my leg, and my 2-year-old came, "Oh, mommy, sorry," and he was rubbing my leg, and he kissed my leg, and he was chastising Kezia, telling her off that, "Can you not see mommy?" So they know. They are very
parents already.
they already know. So, and a key thing with children and motherhood is you need to give your children attention.
Oh, yes. That's a big one.
It's very, very important, because that's when you pick up when something is wrong with them without them talking. You know something has happened without them even making a gesture or whatever. I'll give you a prime example. This Christmas period just went by. I went to watch my son do the donkey in the Christmas play.
Hey, come on.
And he's very photogenic. He likes pictures.
Yeah.
And I was just like, Sam. And he wasn't answering me. He was just, acting like he was
Doing
deaf.
this thing, yeah.
And then later, when I picked him, I said, "You were upset. Why?" And I said, "Oh, my teacher got me really cross, so I didn't want to talk to anybody." But I knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
Because I'm calling him, he's not answering. He's not even looking my way to take a picture. He's not smiling. So I've already picked up there's a countenance. There's something wrong. What happened? And he uses words like, "I don't like it when people upset me. They get me really upset and I'm upset." And I'm like, "Hold on, cool down. What happened?" But he will tell you, he's like me. He's really outspoken. Like if he's upset with you, he will tell you he's upset.
Yeah.
And and they feed off your energy. This is what you have to really understand. That children feed off your energy. Men don't get a lot of credit for parenthood. Yeah, and there's so many reasons to it. One, society makes us believe that men are meant to hustle, and the women are meant to hold the house down. That's not always the case. And it doesn't work for everybody that way. And I would say with my husband's job now, it gives him more of a chance to mix with the children as well, because he can work from home as well. So they do balance here and there. So when they say motherhood, I think it should be more like parenthood.
Yeah.
Both, yeah.
Because it does take two, but don't buy my head off. It's more like 70-30.
Hey.
Because, and I say that with all honesty and respect here, because think about it, men can't breastfeed, yeah? Men are not built to stay up overnight. When your child is coughing, it's cold, he's got a cold, he's vomiting, he's doing all, they will try and "Oh, babe, what's going on? Is it okay?" Before you know it, they've knocked out again. It's I used to get mad about that before. I really did. I used to get so upset. But then as you grow older and mature more, you get to realize that it's not a thing that is intentional.
Yeah.
It's just nature. But there are some men that do what a woman is meant to do, while the woman is knocked out or sleeping, and the man is cradling the baby and doing that. I'm not faulting anybody for however they run their house, because each person's house runs different.
There's always going to be a different dynamics.
But motherhood, parenthood is a big game out there. So don't have children if you're not ready to run the race, because it's not about them being cute. I keep on saying
Yeah.
it's more than that.
And that's the thing, yeah. Like I said, it's just seeing people kind of going, yeah, I want kids, they're cute. And just, I think people forget that being a parent is 24/7. When you go to work and you come home, you work, 8 hours a day or whatever it is, but there's a cut-off. When you're a parent, there's no cut-off.
no cut-off.
Once you start, that's literally it. All day, every day. Like you said, there's Pampers, there's the SMA, there's the food, there's toys, there's that being perceptive. And I think that's quite a big one in that. You have to really understand your child. You need to know when something's wrong at home or in school. So I think when it gets tricky is that the schools notice there's something wrong, and then they try and come to your house and start talking,
pointing the finger at you.
trying to make you look a certain type of way, and it's like, no, don't even try it.
Let me tap on that one. There was when Kezia was still in, I think, reception or year 1. I don't know. I can't remember what she did. But I gave her a tap on her bum or something. So she now told her teacher. And her teacher said to her, oh, your mum's not supposed to smack you, blah, blah, blah. I said, that's fine. She came home and she told me, my teacher said you're not supposed to smack me. I said, that's good. I now got the Argos catalogue and I put it in 2 carrier bags. And I told her to hold them, to spend them in the air. And then after like maybe...
Classic one. Hold your hands up.
Maybe after like 20 minutes, Mom, please, I'm sorry. Okay. I told her, get black bag, put your clothes in it. You're going to your teacher's house. If your teacher doesn't want you, you're going to social services. Mom, no, please. I'm so sorry. She was really like proper shook because I pulled all the clothes in the black bag. I was not going to have that black instilled bag, into her. No, she ain't going to have no luggage. No, black bag. Black bag. Yeah? So the next day I followed her to school and I saw the teacher and I said, how dare you tell my child I'm not allowed to smack her? Do you know there's a difference between smacking and hitting? And there is a law that says, yeah, you can give your child a light smack so long as it doesn't leave a mark, a bruise, and it's always in the fleshy parts of the body, so whereby you're not abusing them. It's not impacting them in the sense that, oh, they feel like they're in danger or something, but they know that they've been chastised for something. And I'm very pro. If I'm going to give you a smack, I'm going to tell you why. I'm not going to smack you and go. Do you understand?
I think that's important as well. Because,
so when I went to tell the teacher, blah, 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 she said, no, I didn't mean it like that. I'm so sorry. I said, don't mean it anyhow. Because if she comes to school tomorrow and tells you to shut up, you're going to call me and say, Kezia was blah, blah. And I'm going to tell you to shut the hell up as well. Because at the end of the day, if I'm telling my child something, you guys need to follow through. Does she look like an abused child? Does she come to school with ripped clothes? Her hair is always done. Her shoes are always clean. Her clothes are always clean. So what? Oh, Kezia's mom was so sorry. We didn't mean it like that. And from there, that set a bar for them.
Okay.
If Kezia comes to tell me that, till now, if she tells me that a teacher did X, Y, and Z, my first question is, what did you do? And Kezia knows me. I'm that kind of mom that I'm going to turn up at your school.
Yeah.
Don't make me turn up in my pajamas because you're going to cry. I'm going to turn up at your school. And the headmistress knows me very well. That I'm pro-discipline and I'm very proactive in anything when they say parents' evening.
That's good.
I do it because you need to know what's going on, or else your child will get picked on in school by the teachers, and then social workers will be knocking at your door for no reason. Recently, she said to me that she fell over in the dinner hall, and then one of the dinner helpers said to her, stop behaving like a lunatic.
Whoa.
And I said, yeah, I like that language because I'm going to display what a lunatic does. And I went up to the school. Oh, Lord, have mercy. The headmistress didn't even know what to say to me anymore. She was so apologetic that, they will deal with it. And they actually did. And formal complaint was done, blah, blah, and they sent it back to me. And my daughter was asking me that, Mom, why is it if something goes down, you turn up? I said, if I don't turn up, next your enemy's going to have a broken arm and we're going to be saying what?
Yeah. No, it's because there's a point that was raised that actually it's important for your child to see you fight for them.
Yeah.
Because that has a big kind of
impact
on their self-esteem and how they deal with issues. Because if you were timid and didn't do anything, you're teaching them that actually anyone can
walk over you.
But when you go up there and stand up for your kids, that's teaching that actually mom loves me. My parents will stand up for me.
It's not even that, but you should stand up as well.
Yeah. I had an issue with social workers when I had My second one, Samuel, because like I said, he was a very colicky baby, so he cried a lot. And
So what's colicky?
so basically, they have like trap wind in their stomach, so they can't really get it out. It makes them cry a lot.
Oh,
and,
okay.
You know, as Nigerians, you know, we do like the ijonu, like the massage of the stomach and all of that, just to try and help them pass the wind, or you know, just basically. So he used to cry a lot because he had a lot of trap wind and colic. And my neighbor who lived upstairs with her demonic dog called social workers, and they were called social services and said he was being neglected. So the social worker called me, and I was even thinking they wanted to advertise something about parents in the area, or whatever. And they were like, "Oh, a complaint has been made." I said, "For whose child?" Because I was still confused. Maybe they had the wrong number. And they were like, "For your new baby, it's been reported that you're neglecting the child, and the child is crying a lot." I said, "Okay, do you know
Check the
what?"
medical history.
I said, "The best advice I'm going to give you is turn up at my house. Don't tell me when you're coming. Don't give me a time of day. Just turn up."
I love that.
And when you turn up, if you meet it like so, that he's malnourished, he's abused, he's crying, I'm not attending to him, take him away. If you can't do that, please don't call my phone again.
Yeah.
Not known to me, they also contacted his health visitor, and I always advise people that please, when you have your babies, make sure you do know who your health visitor is. You do take them for their weigh-ins, you do take them for all of these things, because you're building a relationship between you, the service provider. So if anything does come up, like my situation did, they can bounce back.
Yeah.
Because my health visitor was like, if you're talking about the same child that I saw 2 days ago, I think it's wrong.
Wrong
Because
person.
Samuel was a fat baby. When it's fat, he was very, very
Junky.
healthy. So the health advisor was a bit confused as to like,
Neglect, huh?
neglect? Where? My son was going through clothes like this.
Yeah,
He was
growing.
very plump. You can see that he was well looked after. And I did raise the thing whereby he cries a lot. He's colicky. What do you think? That's what I was telling you guys about the different milk that he had to have because of the colic. And in the end of the day, I got an apology letter from social workers, because I was like, I'm not going to have that. But what happens is, even if they give you an apology letter, his name is still in the system.
Oh.
That's what you have to remember. His name will still be in the system because there has been a report made.
Yeah.
So if somebody decides that, this
report
child
again.
is, they will have to do another investigation. Even no matter how many times the report is closed, once that name is in the system, it's in the system. One, for the protection of the child, and two, because we get audited in all these things. So you have to have proof that you've done your job, you've done your investigation, and it's closed off. As a mum, that hit me. That was like a low blow for me, because I'm thinking, I'm doing everything for these children. Why couldn't the neighbor come and knock for me and ask me, are you okay? And the worst thing is, she still saw me downstairs with the baby, and she was like, he's so cute.
What, the neighbor that complained?
Yeah. So when they now say that thing, he's so cute, I'm like, can you get lost?
I know
He's
what
so
you've done.
cute. What's inside your belly? You
They're
understand?
just like, it's just, that's not on to put
And
your-
in the end of the day, karma, what goes around comes around.
What happened to the dog?
The dog, what happened to her? So,
My dog bit me.
we leave that one for the gods, yeah.
Hey, man.
It's a very, very big thing.
But I guess because again, people kind of listening in, maybe thinking about having kids, starting that family. To people who are considering having children, obviously they're blessings, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
What would you say are some of like really important things what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned as a parent?
Okay.
And that you could pass on?
As a parent,
Yeah.
the only thing I can pass on to you guys is this. You're going to learn by yourself. Because
Life.
if I tell you, this is how I did it, it's not going to work for you. Because your child is going to be different to my child. Your relationship is different to my relationship. Your thickness of skin may be different to my thickness of skin. What I can handle, you may not handle well. What you may handle well, I may not even handle 1 ounce. So it's a very, very, very dicey ball game. But once you've agreed that you want to do this, you just have to have that perseverance. And remember that things do take a turn for worse sometimes. And what I mean by that is, I said something earlier about between my first child and my second child is a 6-year gap. I had about 4 or 5 miscarriages in that time frame. and it was very dark for me. So you guys need to understand that there are people out there that do go through these things but may not share it, may not say it because they don't know how to say it, or every time they talk about it, it brings back bad memories for them. But for me, I've got to the stage where I'm over it and I can share my experience to give somebody else that hope that the dark days may be there, but the sunshine is going to come out and you are going to make it. My last 2 children, for example, were born by emergency C-section. My daughter was my only natural birth. And the last 2, both of them were on the verge of death. Both of them. So
C-sections, that's one they have to cut.
Yeah, where they have to cut you. My Samuel, they cut Samuel because the cord was wrapped around his neck and everything, and he had also pooed. So every time there was a contraction, I wasn't feeling it, but it was reading on the meter, and his heart rate was dropping. So after about 7-8 hours, they were like, "No, that's it. We're gonna do it." And they had to cut me, take him out. After they stitched me up and I went home, a few days later, the stitch ripped open on one side. So, but me being me, I treated it myself, looked after myself. Then when they wanted to come and remove, because they didn't use dissolvable stitching with Samuel, when they wanted to remove it, one of the knots that they tied healed on the inside. So it got stuck. They couldn't take it out. So I had to go back to the hospital for them to take it out. And they were like, it's 2 options. Either they pull it and I'm going to feel the pain, or they cut it again. I said, pull it. And they said, do you want gas and air? I said, no, just pull it. And they asked me like 4 times, and I said, just pull it. And when they pulled it, I did feel it running along, and they pulled it out. And then the lady was looking at me like, are you okay? I said, I'm fine. Can I go home now? And my last one, I had been in the hospital for a few days, so I wasn't feeling well. And then I went for my normal antenatal checkup. I wasn't even going to go because I thought, I just came out of hospital, what else?
Yeah.
And I went, then my midwife was like, oh, I actually want you to go on a monitor just for like 45 minutes just to check. My son's heart rate, a normal heartbeat is about 140 to 160.
Okay.
His heart rate was 200 plus and he wasn't moving. They gave me food, they gave me everything. It wasn't moving. So imagine your antenatal appointment is like 10 o'clock, and at 3 o'clock you're having an emergency section. When he came out, his legs were like up. He was I can't remember what they call it, breech, but it's extended breech where your legs are all the way up. So it's basically everything is up, and the cord was around it and everything. And they were like, you're so lucky that you didn't have a natural birth, because he would have been dead before he came out, just for the fact that the cord was quite a lot. And when they took him out, I started to keel over on the table. Like my chest was becoming very heavy and I couldn't breathe. And they were just like, you know what, just take it easy. And imagine at that time, my husband was still working in central London. So the baby was born before he
because all he's
arrived,
thinking is you just gone in for an appointment. And
So they've taken the baby, our baby's fine. I'm keeling over on the table. And I had like 3 different IVs in my hand at the time as well. So they were just pushing fluids and pushing everything to get me back. Because I could feel myself going. I already told them, I said, look after my baby. That was what I said to them, look after my baby. Because my chest was, I couldn't, my lungs could not expand. I could just feel everything was just compressed. And obviously eventually they stabilized me. I'm sharing this with you guys so you can understand that not every delivery is going to be the same. Not everybody has it smooth and easy. Do you understand? So don't just give up because your first one is not easy or whatever. Just keep going. You will get through it. And eventually went into recovery. Then my body started itching from the anesthetic.
Okay.
And oh my God, I was scratching like maybe I haven't bathed for 1 year. And I was taking off the robe and they were like, and then the worst thing is my the midwife that was looking after me in recovery, we went to secondary school together. And she was like, babe, just cool down. I'm gonna swear. I was itching. As brown as I am, my skin was going red. I was itching.
That allergic reaction?
Yeah, it was an allergic reaction. So I was proper itching. Gave me Piriton and everything. And then my journey started into the phototherapy because he was drawn. He had jaundice. He was born early, like I said to you guys. And long and short of it is, you need to have a good support chain.
That was going to be my next question.
It's very, very important. And I said something before as well, like my mom, she's my ride or die. My dad, he acts like a woman. He's more... He's in tune with like his feminine side, but I'm gonna call it a chicken side, because if a little scratch happens to me, he'll be like, my daughter, that's my dad. That's why sometimes we don't say things to him until it's done.
I don't want to worry him too much. Yeah.
And then when he came and he saw my son under the lights, hey, my baby, I'm like, Dad is fine. He's okay. But my mom, like, she's my serious ride or die. Like, there's nothing. Even if you've been bad, my mom is that kind of person that you may not be her child, but she'll take you as her child. But don't take the piss out of her, because her kindness is not to be taken for granted.
Yeah.
She's very, very proactive, and she kept me going. She kept me strong, and she was like, it's fine. And then my husband made a random joke the other day that, he wants to have another baby. I said,
you looked at him.
No, I didn't say with who. I said maybe with your next wife. Yeah.
Because he's not like we've always
You've been through what I've been through, you know.
You're the one that's to hold
Your
it.
next wife be. Because like, I originally, when I was growing up, I always said I wanted to have 5 children. Yeah. But I never expected the journey to be like this. Because my mom had all of us naturally. Do you understand? So I never expected. There's 4 of us. So I never expected it to be like, a journey. This section, or you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. And obviously now, if I'm gonna have another child, there is a possibility of a natural birth, but more than likely it's going to be a C-section. And then you also have to think about the healing process and everything. So, boy, having a baby is not a joke. There's a lot of work to it. And then all you people that like to wear makeup, I know. I saw Max sent me an email, that it's been 2 years we've seen you. I said, I don't wear makeup every day, so I don't need to see you. Then I went into the store and they're like, it shows on your profile it's been 2 years. I said, I don't wear makeup every day. We have some people that buy makeup every 3 months. I said, boy, they must be using it as body cream, because I don't, because for me, I find it irritating that you be scratching and whatever. So you that you like to wear makeup and buy all the Gucci, just remember that when you have a child, that money cuts in half.
Nice.
That money goes elsewhere now. And before, in this country, when you used to have so many children, everybody was entitled to child benefit, child tax credit. Only 2 children get it now.
So there's like a cap on it?
There's a cap on it.
Isn't this the universal credit?
There's universal credit. The universal credit. Even generally now, like your tax credit or whatever, it's only your first 2 children. Every child that was born before April 2017, would still get that benefit.
So if I have 4, I'm only going to get it for 2.
Yeah, so now if you have 4, you only get it for 2. And so you guys please get your finances into check. And I think for me, if somebody asked me what I would do differently now before I had children, the one thing I would say was I would have bought a house before starting having children. And I tell you the reason why. When it's just you, it's easier for you to save up, because if you don't eat your breakfast, you eat lunch. But your child needs to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Do you understand? True. And that's money. Now, saving up for a house now, it's difficult. It's doable, but it takes a bit longer and it's a bit harder. But you'll get there, because I know I'm definitely going to get there. Do you understand? But if I was going to do anything differently, I would have bought a house first. And that for me is like stability, because when your children do grow up, with where the housing prices are going now, before they can even save a deposit, they're going to need to cut off an arm and leg. But you've got a house, probably will be mortgage free by then. If you want to remortgage, or you want to do something to give them the money to get a property, you know that you've sold something into their life that they themselves will never forget.
It's an investment in a legacy.
Very, very big investment. So that is one thing that I would have done differently. But apart from that, no.
Love the journey.
I honestly, I think we don't hear people's story that often about just being a parent, not just talking about motherhood, but being a parent. And I'm just listening and I'm thinking, wow, you've been through a lot. And it's so important about having just the support around you, the people around you. I guess the way to flip it is, if you know someone that's going through that scenario, so you've got a friend who's going through that same scenario, how do you support them as a friend? For instance, I've had somebody in that situation. I still have somebody in that situation right now. And
I let them know that my hand is there anytime. But I wasn't overbearing in the sense that, what are you going through? What's going on?
Okay.
Because not everybody wants to talk, or not everybody knows how to share their story. But I let the person know that I'm here. Anytime you need me, I'm here. Be it the days where you have no food and you haven't got strength to cook, I'll cook it. I'll bring it. You know,
like
that when you're putting that hand out, with time, the person's gonna tell you, you know what, I'm going through this and I don't actually know how to handle it, or how did you do this, or how did you do that? Do you understand? And it goes. The key thing is, don't push them. Let them tell you when they're ready.
Okay.
But let them know that you are there.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Let them know you're there to support them through whatever. I have a friend that during her pregnancy she found out that she's got fibroids, and she was so scared that the fibroids are not going to let the baby grow or things like that. And I just kept on pushing it, maybe because of my profession, or no, I just think because I'm that kind of person anyways, whereby I like to push my friends or people that are close to me, because I don't want to just be the successful person and then they're like,
Oh, look at her. Yeah.
No,
it's
I'm
win
always
together.
exactly, it's win together. And you know, I kept on pushing her, we can do this, we can do that. She was like, oh, I don't think the baby's gonna make it. And I told her, I said, you're probably gonna have a C-section, but this baby's gonna be fine and we're gonna enjoy it. And the baby's 2 now.
Yeah,
Another one's on the way. You understand? So it's just about knowing what to say, when to say it, and how to say it.
Yeah.
Well, but I guess I'm thinking about boundaries as well. So I take the point about, I've got a friend, they're having a child. I'm like, I'm here for you. Say I've got another friend who maybe is pregnant or has got a child, but in a respectful way, I'm like, I don't think you're being the best parent. But I mean, maybe they're drinking and smoking in front of their kids. Maybe they're very like physically abusive to the kids. Is there ever a point where I can say, look, Becky, you're doing too much? I'm not going to call the authorities, but I'm like, let me actually step in and say, look, based on where you're raising your kids, I'm concerned. Do I have a right to say that as a friend? Or is it like, you know what? Those are her kids. Let me mind my own business.
Okay, so you can't use the word, you're not being a good mom, or you're not raising your kids properly. That's very, very dangerous territory. If I was in that situation, I'm going to try and assess it from the root. What's causing the drinking? What's causing the smoking? What's causing that actual reaction? Sometimes some parents don't know how to deal with stress.
Yeah.
Some parents don't know how to deal with children itself. They're just
They're not equipped. Or...
they're just a pathway into the world for these children. So what I would do in such situation, with the parents' permission, okay, do you want your children to come over to mine for the weekend? If they come over to mine for the weekend, bearing in mind I will not go beyond my means. If I feel like I'm out of my depth, I'm gonna step back. But if I'm taking your children to my house for the weekend, in that weekend I'm still coming back to talk to you. How are you feeling? Did you manage to rest? Are you okay? Conversation will flow, because at that time that person themselves will actually be able to rest their mind.
Breathe.
Or even just take a deep breath and step back. Sometimes they're too deep into it to even realize that they need to rest. They need to take a step back. So, and when we're talking about calling the authorities or whatever, I think social workers or social services has been stigmatized that they're just there to take away your children. But in the social work service, there's a lot of support. There's a lot of different teams that come under the social working umbrella. There are people that are there that actually come to support you. Okay, we'll pay for this. If you put your child in this club, we'll pay X amount of money. This will give you time to go to rehab or get help, you understand? But because of the stigma, a lot of people are not going to go out for that help, and that resource is just wasting. So coming back to what you said, that's what I would do first. I'll try and take the children out of the equation and let's see what is left to play with. If I see that there's an improvement there, then we'll work. It'll become a proactive thing. But if I can't see any change and I feel like the children are endangered, then I'm going to tell my friend that I am going to report you to social services because I feel you need additional help.
Okay. Yeah.
And when I'm going to report you to social services, I'm going to be reporting you to the safeguarding team, not because you're physically abusing your children or whatever. No, but I feel like these children need to be safeguarded and you need help. It's not a case whereby they're going to come and take your children away and you're done. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And with that, a lot of people get back on track and do make it. But the key thing is, if you look a bit deeper, you're going to see that those particular families have no support chain, no support system. There's nobody they can really call to when they feel like they're overwhelmed. Because you see a lot of people that, I'm saying to you now, my house, there's no food, there's nothing. And then you're calling Freddie and saying to Freddie, can you believe, Adekemi has no food in her house and she's got 3 children. That's what happens.
Yeah.
No one's actually there being
There's no
on.
one there to do anything proactively. And that's why I say that
That's a reflection of God.
I thank God for like the people I have around me. Because the same way, if they call me, someone can call me and say, I really need £10. That £10 can be the last £10 in my account. I'm going to give it.
Yeah.
It's not because of anything, but because I know tomorrow is another day. And God is going to make another way. That's my thinking. My husband always says to me, you just spend money anyhow. And I'm like, well, if we die tomorrow, who is going to spend this money?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Let's enjoy it.
No one's going to spend the money, so let's use it now. There was a day I was coming from work, and I think this stems down to motherly instinct, yeah? There was a guy begging for money, and it was like -2, -3. And I just went in, paid for my film, and I had like £3 change. And I bought hot chocolate. You know when you buy hot chocolate from the filling station, it's bloody like $2.99.
Yeah, expensive, isn't it?
Expensive when I can buy it for £1 in McDonald's. So I bought the hot chocolate and I gave it to the gentleman, and he looked at me like it would have been cheaper for her to give me £1. Why did she buy me the hot chocolate?
Yeah.
But I was looking at the thing as it's cold. That £1 is not going to buy you hot chocolate. Let me buy you hot chocolate. People will still give you £1, 20p. You drink that, you warm up your inside. You understand? It's cold outside. You don't want to end up in a hospital because your body temperature has dropped down to nothing, or you're just basically on the verge of death. So my thinking is, how can I do something that will actually benefit this person? And I didn't notice that my daughter used to watch me do things like that. So when people are begging, she says, Mom, can you give them 50p, please? I said, this one doesn't look like it needs money. But Mom, can you just please? And, she does. Or even sometimes I get so angry because she'll just quickly ransack my money and go and give it to
Yeah.
But it just shows that they feed off positive energy and they observe, they learn a lot of things. You understand? And it's very paramount that in your situation, or the situation you put up, that you act fast, because if you don't, the same circle is going to continue.
Yeah.
The children there will also become alcoholics or smokers or whatever as time goes on. There's a common situation that I know about. A woman left her 3 children and went on holiday. And the second eldest is in the last year of secondary school doing exams and whatever. So the second eldest took the last child of her to school because there's nowhere the child is going to be. And she needs to go to school. And that's how social workers found out that the mum left the children.
Just to go on holiday.
She went on holiday.
Oh, just went?
Yeah, just went. No childcare.
How old was the oldest?
The eldest year 11. So what's year 11? 16?
16 or something.
Yeah. Second eldest, because the eldest is in uni. The second eldest, we left the children and went on holiday.
Damn.
Was it worth it? That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, for a week or so. It's not
Well,
even...
this is the thing. It goes back to what I'm telling you. Support system is very, 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 very important, because if there's no support, there's nothing. I tell you, even being married, sometimes you feel like a single parent.
Okay.
So talk less of actually being a single parent. The weight that comes of it is a lot. It's a lot. So I really commend single parents that are doing a good job, because it's not an easy walk of life. And
I've heard that when couples have children, the children put a strain on the relationship as well. Because again, it's the sleepless nights, it's the financial kind of drain, it's all of that time taken away. Where maybe you'd spend time going on like date nights or whatever, that's dedicated to the kids. And it has
Date
that
night.
What is that?
What is the meaning?
Hey, Jesus. Date night.
What was your last date night? Yeah?
Oh, God. Let me think.
2020 vision. Let's put in the goals. Let's make it happen.
Wait. It happened when? Oh, I really cannot even remember. I swear. Oh, I know he said something about it, and then I'm like,
But the kids, come on.
It's not even about the kid. I have no energy, Jai. I can't really remember, you know. That's so wow.
She's really brilliant. But yeah, no, I've heard that. It just children, family has that strain on it. It has a strain on everything.
It does put a strain on everything. That's why it's important to have your priorities set when it comes to children, because it's not an easy walk. I keep on saying it. Like now, if I want to go out and buy myself a Gucci bag, I'm going to think, does Samuel have trainers? Does David have enough innerwear? Does Keza have enough tights? Is there enough food in the fridge? And by the time I calculate all of that, I'm like, forget this Gucci. You know what? In my whole life, I'm not even joking, in my whole life, I don't think I've bought myself anything like Gucci before in my life, or any top designers like that. Somebody bought me a bag once. And even the bag, I think it was an LV bag, but it didn't have any shacking feeling to me, because I was like, I could have used that money for something else. You understand?
Yeah. So your priorities completely change. It's not about you, it's about...
Yeah, it really does change. But if they say I spend money on cars now, yes, that's like the only
the thing you kind of
that's the thing I love. There was one time in my life that I was having a car every year. Which was matching the year that we were in. Well, then I had to reset my brain and reformat everything. Because
I know you had was it the Honda once?
I had the Honda, I had the Astra, I had the Ford, I had the Fiat, I had, what else did we have? We had too many cars.
Every year.
Yeah, we had it. I had it. And boy, I've got one that I'm gunning for, and I think my husband is shaking. I don't care, I'm going to have it.
One?
Oh, no, don't let us say.
Okay. Of course, Off air.
That
when it happens, it will happen.
That car is a vava vroom vroom vroom.
Okay.
But I can't buy that car unless I've got like a house.
Everything in place.
Got to be patterned.
Because it's one of those things where I would even cost somebody that's living in a council flat and they had that kind of car.
Yeah,
But
and a lot of people like that now.
Yeah, if you have that kind of car, then bruh, how much are you paying for your finance every month? You know, put it away and get a house, do something, get on the ladder. It's easier said than done, but boy, it's doable.
Yeah, one thing that's really stood out for me is that whole like support piece, and this has come out in other conversations we've had about people who've gone through like depression or stress or whatever it is. Even with Wumi, the kind of main thing that's come out is you need that support system. You need your friends, you need your family, you need people who you can call when you're down to your last pound and ask for £10. People you can call sometimes just someone to speak to really helps. Just getting the problem out there. I'm going through this. This is long. The husband isn't listening. The wife is stressing me. The kids are this. Just to get it out, that helps a lot. Yeah.
It's like Wumi came to my house the other day. She came to drop the Christmas present. I swear she didn't use 5 minutes. She ran out the house.
Yeah,
because David was beating her up. And she was telling him stop. And he was like, no. And she was like, no, I have to go. I said, oh, they're running. I said, they're coming to your place, B. I said, no, I'm not at home. Even like my mom, my parents here, sometimes they run away.
Like,
Especially from David. Because David is a run for money, as in David does not get, I don't know where his energy is from. I wish I could tap into it as well. When he sleeps, he sleeps. But no matter what time he sleeps, this boy, his eyes are open, 6 o'clock.
Ready.
Oh boy, where are you going? Sleep.
Energy, army boy.
The only time you see him like still sleeping at 10 or 11 is if he's got a cold or something.
Yeah, that's
But
when...
apart from that, he's up and you hear the stairs. Brr, bus, brr, bus. We went to Asda yesterday. I told him, stop running. You're going to fall over. Why did I say that? He fell over, bashed his head on the floor. And he still stood up. And then the people in Asda were looking at me like, am I not meant to beg him? I'm like, you beg him. Why am I begging him? Did he not hear when I said stop running? Oh boy, it's a lot. And he said something a lot about having a strain on the relationship. It does. And like I've been, okay, so with my husband, we've been together since 2008.
Boy.
And yeah, we got married in 2013. And there's been times where I've been like, why am I married? Like, I just want to live my life. Like, why am I here? I don't need this. Because you do get to a stage in your life after marriage, children, you're just like, no, I want to go back to pre-marriage, pre-children. So don't let anybody tell you that it's not okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
It is very, very okay not to be okay. Because I do feel like, maybe with me, because I'm quite thick-skinned, I do feel like there's been times where I've been really depressed and down, but I've got myself out of it because I'm not ready to go and sit down and talk to some shrink and say, I'm not saying it's bad to go and talk to a shrink or anything, but with me personally, that wouldn't work. I think it would make my problem even worse because for me, keeping on going, doing something, being active, it gets me. And obviously, because I have so many different businesses that I am into, that keeps me going. And then the children themselves, I tell you, they do read on and feed off your energy. So there's certain things they say, like yesterday when I went to Asda 11:15 because David's Pampers finished. Can you imagine? All I wanted to do was sleep, and I heard, oh, mom, there's no more Pampers. 11:15, and Sam was sleeping, so I left him at home with his dad. So we took my husband's mini toy. We took that and
the Mini Cooper.
Yeah, so we took that, me, Kezia and David, and we got the stuff, we came back. By the time we came back, I bought McDonald's on the way back as well, because I thought Sam was going to wake up, and I was right. And when he saw me, he said, Mom, can I give you a hug and a kiss? Thank you for buying all this stuff. And I just, I was just like what? How? Why? I said, oh, Mom, because you're doing a really good job. And in my head, I'm thinking, if your child is telling you you're doing a good job, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Even the way he's communicating,
the way he's saying it as well,
with so much power and enthusiasm. And I was just looking at him. I said, okay, can I use the toilet first? Okay, I'll wait for you out here.
All right, child, go.
How important is that from the child, for you to hear from your child?
It's very important.
You're doing an amazing job. I love you. It's
very, very important. And I feel like the more you embrace that as well from them, the more they are able to communicate their emotions and how they feel and things like that, For example, the other day, my daughter was asking me, or she was telling me about an instance in her class about lesbianism and gayism and all this pride, whatever stuff. Yeah. And she was like, there's two girls in her class that are lesbians. I said, what do you know? What do you know about being a lesbian? She said, yeah, it's when two girls or two guys like each other and they are in a relationship. Growing up, if you say that kind of thing to an African parent, you hear, my friend, will you get out of here?
What is the meaning?
What is the meaning? And my mom still says it now, that if she knew what she knows now, if she knew it then, she may have brought us up differently. But I think if she brought us up differently, boy, I probably would be a gangster or something by now. So, and being open and allowing your child to be able to talk to you and say things to you is very, very important. Or else they'll start to seek love outside. The love that's inside the house already, they'll start seeking it outside. That's when you start hearing, my child is not coming home on time. My child is hanging around with the bad gang. My child is... You have to step back and look at yourself as well. Have I given this child...
created that space for them to be themselves and express themselves? The
other day, when my mum was in... I think I was at my mum's house and she was saying to my sister that, oh, I want you to make me your best friend. I want you to tell me anything. I said, you need to sign an undertaking. She needs to sign it. Because I thought my mum would call my phone. Can you believe what your sister said?
What she told me?
Do you know what she said to me? And I'm just like, but Mom, you're the one that said. Yeah. So I said to myself, don't say anything until she signs. When she signs, we'll all take pictures, send it to email. So if the paper runs away, we have electronic copy. It's funny being sad now, but I think my mom is trying to create an avenue for that relationship, which I always say it's never too late.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's never too late. And obviously she's picked up on it. She's looked at it. Even sometimes I have to call her, Mom, how would you deal with this situation if this was you? How would you do this if this was you? And she would say, even sometimes when my husband gets me angry, like, I'm at that edge of, no, I don't want to be in this relationship. I'm done with this. There's things that your mom will say to you or your dad will say to you that will be like, okay, try this approach, do this approach, let's go, let's do this. And it does help. Sometimes marriages don't work. Don't get me wrong, it's never perfect. Sometimes it literally doesn't work, and you have to know when to call it quits before it becomes a poisonous thing whereby the children become, it's your dad, it's toxic, your mom, it becomes a toxic environment. That's the word. So it's very, very important, and that still comes under motherhood and knowing what you're doing that's affecting your children positively, negatively. I'm quite a loud person, and I think that just comes with my character of being quite confident. And I noticed that my children as well started shouting when they're communicating. They would do, I was like, ha!
What have I done?
Where are you getting this from?
I'm like, must you shout? And then when you now look back and you think, Kezia! They're doing the same thing.
They pick it up.
Pick it up. So now I'm also trying to like reduce that and use an inside voice. And when I'm saying that to Sam, so Sam, use your inside voice. Okay, Mom, I'll try. It's very important. They pick up on all these kind of things.
So it's also important about your own development as well.
Yeah, it is.
You have to focus on, just being almost a better version of yourself along the way. But it's important what you were saying about turning to your mum and dad and getting that wisdom, because they're older, they're from a different generation, but they've been, they've got that wisdom and experience that hopefully they can impart that onto you, and you can take stuff away from it. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Because I think me and Ola had a conversation going back probably about 4 months ago of like having that conversation with our grandparents and this, understanding. So my grandparents ain't around, but there's always that time of like when I'm going through challenging points in relationships or whatever, Granddad, how would you do this? How did you handle that? I think that's invaluable.
Yes.
But you still can get that from other people at the same time.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power, but get the information from the right people.
The right source.
There are some friends out there who'll be telling you, if it was my man, I would leave him. If it was my man,
2
I
weeks
would
later.
do this. But in their house, their man is battering them black and blue. Yeah? But outside, they're telling you a different story.
Yeah.
So be very, very careful, because some people want what you have.
Yeah. And
they'll be doing a cunning way to get what you have. Know when to talk and when not to talk. I actually had a friend that I had to tell. I told her, you need to leave your man. And it became a big fight.
Between you and her?
Yeah.
And I guess you recognised that there was something unhealthy.
So it became a big fight. You know the day this girl left the man? The day the guy threw a tricycle, he threw it at her, it broke the socket of her eye.
Ice.
I just decided to roll up on that day. I didn't even know, when you just go to your friend's house, she was passed out on the floor.
What?
And then she told me that she fell down the stairs because of her period. And I'm that kind of person, I'm going to play. I said, okay, no problem. So when we got to the hospital, I said to her, babe, we're going to the hospital. This is where I work. These are the questions they're going to ask you. Do you want to tell me what happened? And obviously, she now opened up to me and said to me, I said, okay, this is how we're going to go about it. Let's get this sorted. Until now, she's got a metal plate under the eye to hold the eye up. She left him. And what was the reason why I said she should leave in the first place? The guy likes to smoke weed. And if he doesn't have the money, he wants the money from her. And it was becoming a very aggressive situation with a little baby. That's why when you asked the question, I already understood because I know, I've been there. And later on, we're friends till now. Yeah. Later on, she was like, you know what, you are right. But some situations, you have to have that confidence of, this is make or break. At least you've said it.
You've done your bit.
Because I would feel so guilty if I didn't say it then. Something happened and then she's still there. She may not even be alive today.
And it's so good you did, because like you said, a metal. Man,
that holds the eye up. The eye socket smashed basically, so there was nothing holding the eye. So when I met her, the eye was so swollen, so you couldn't really see what was happening with the eye itself. So obviously, when the swelling went down and with the X-rays, you could see the bone was all shattered under there.
Woo.
you know. So it's life. There's a lot of things growing up. There's a lot of things I've seen, I've learned. You know, we all grew up in Hackney before they scooped me up to Essex and I became an Essex bird. I think they needed to because, boy, I was...
Change your environment.
I needed that change of environment because my parents even went to the extent of sewing me school uniform from Nigeria, like knee-length skirt. And as soon as I get out of the house, I'd roll it up. It would come up to like here, you know. Everything like such. They as parents, they did what they did.
Yeah.
But you also have to understand that society will also do what it will do
to your child.
So you need to be proactive in everything you do. And another thing that with motherhood I instill to my children is you don't have to have everything other people have.
You don't have to have everything.
That other things other people have.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, like, because somebody has TMs, you have to have TMs.
Yeah.
Because somebody has
them Air Forces,
Even though my children have all of these kind of things, but it's not because X has it, I want you to have it. No. I love my children looking good, and I can tell you, I could buy a dress that's £2, and I'll still look better than someone that's wearing a Gucci dress. Why? Because you've learnt to work with what you have and be happy with yourself.
Yes.
But my children, you check them, you check what they wear, where they're going, they will always be on point, because I hate that thing where a mum looks nice and your child looks like a tramp.
It's bang out.
It makes no sense to me. Or your child is going to school, left the house with a holy tight. My daughter knows that thing drives me crazy. She's done it before where she had a hole in her tights in the middle, and you know when you just catch a glimpse of something in the mirror, I said, Kezia, what is that? She said, oh, it happened yesterday. I drove to Asda. She was late to school that day. I drove to Asda because I'm not gonna have any child be picked on and say because she's got holy clothes or whatever. I hate that thing. And then they now see the mum coming out looking all no, there's no point. I would rather buy my clothes from Asda, Tesco, whatever, and let my children have all the luxury and whatever, because then when they grow up, they'll be able to also understand that you have to prioritize. I'm not saying that don't wear good clothes or don't, I'm not saying that, but prioritize your children first. Make sure that wherever they go, even if you're not there, people are able to say, that's somebody and somebody's child. Look how they look so neat and, dressed properly. It's very, very important. Some people will say, oh, that's just an appearance. It's not an appearance, because that also builds their confidence. When they're among their peers, they'll be like, oh yeah, even if they're not wearing TNs and they're wearing Nike or they're wearing Adidas or something, and someone is saying, oh, I've got TNs though. Yeah, but my mom just got me these trainers. Or my mom just bought me this shirt. It goes a very, very long way with these children. My children are not materialistic, Believe you me, if they could go out in their socks, they would. But I have brought them in that way that they know it's important to look good wherever you go. There was during the Christmas time, they had non-school uniform, and my husband wore a blue shirt for my son, so he couldn't find any vest for him, and I was just coming home from work, and he normally gets them dressed before I get back so I can do the school run. So he now wore a striped shirt, like a normal t-shirt. He wore the striped shirt. They now put the blue shirt on top. So when I got my child to school, I just looked, I said, Samuel, what's this? He said, Daddy wore it for me. Then when my sister saw him after, she said, who dressed him like this? I said, it's the dad. The dad, I said, hey, but it's better than him being cold. Like, we all started laughing, like, oh my God. You can understand. He looked at it from warmth over
practical,
which it makes a lot of sense. But till now, we're still laughing. If I dress my children, they know it's me that dressed them. If he dresses them, they can tell the difference. They know. So it's very, very important. Even now, my children can pick clothes themselves, and they know what goes, what shouldn't go. And it just goes. It's hard work. Please don't think it's easy. It's hard work. If you see me on the road and I look like I'm crazy, believe you me, I probably haven't slept in 4 days. It's very, very, very hard work. Motherhood, parenthood.
People need to know. They need to know, and we definitely appreciate you just letting people know. Because like I said, people just sometimes see one layer. Like you said, it's the support system, it's understanding the strain in the relationship, it's the finances, it's the family. There's so much to it. Social services, there's a lot to it. And we definitely appreciate you coming and just like letting people know. They need to know. Where can, for people who are interested in following you in your story, and I know you obviously got a few businesses and platforms. Where can people find you? What have you got coming up in 2020? Give them. Plug.
Okay. So for starters, we've got a hair business. It's called Crowned A Star. You can Google it, or you can check it on Instagram. You can add me on Snapchat, which is Keslumi Star. We've got another thing coming up, which is our share business. It's Pure Share Butter. It's also already on Instagram under Crowned A Share. So all of our businesses start with Crowned A, and then it's whatever it is. So if it's hair, share. We've also got a gele one coming up as well. Gele is a head tie, which is a natural what we wear as Africans or Nigerians to owambes, like, you know, parties and weddings and things. So that's also coming up, Crowned A Gele. So we have a lot of things coming up in 2020. So just keep an eye out. And, you know, when you need us, when you want us, holler at us. We're always there. We got your back. We got you. You know, that's we.
No, brilliant. Thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, listeners, for listening in. You know where you can find us. We're Tag Me Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and we can be emailed at info@tagmepodcast.co.uk. And as always, keep it locked.